Products. Hi, today we're going to talk about EON products, features, and exciting developments. EON has had a tremendous development as well as the field of augmented virtual reality connected with artificial intelligence. It's a true augmented intelligence explosion. And today we're going to walk you through what exactly these products do, which features we have, and what's in development. So let's get started. Now, first of all, let me just give you an overview of the evolution of the new EON products. EON has been around for many years, but we started in 2018 a very exciting product development which resulted in a product called EON-XR that is very easy to use, that's open, and it's code-free. In 2021, we added two new products. One is called Merged-XR, and it's a digital twin technology that expands your physical reality. And the third product was spatial meetings that enable you to teleport yourself anytime, anywhere, converse using avatars, and collaborate. And this year was a true bonanza in development, where we added also Metaverse Builder that makes the building of environments very easy by simply walking and talking. EON Interact, which we refer to as touch and go. You can just point to an object and interaction is generated out of a large library of tools. EON Illuminate, that enables you persistent tracking. Knowledge Worlds, that creates an open world for learning, earning, and enjoying actually the curiosity of acquiring knowledge. And EON Universal, that expands EON's agnostic ability to work with any device. And finally, the Marketplace, that is an expansion again to make it easier to monetize your creations. So that's what we've done so far, but wait, we're doing some things that are even more exciting. And we'll talk about that, how the EON has now implemented artificial intelligence for assistance, for guidance, has the ability to create images, videos in 3D from just text prompts or voice, has the capability to train on procedures that they've never seen before. And finally, and that's where we're going, is EON Human 2.0, the capability to add performance enhancement and take humans beyond our current constraints. Okay, so that's the overview, but now let's dive a little bit into the details. The details are important. So let's start with our flagship original product. We refer to as EON-XR. And this was actually a breaking point, a revolution, moving from the traditional model that everybody's using, creating tools that are difficult to use, and the easy way, code-free, to create this type of applications, and also use it in a way that is accessible for any type of device. More than 30 devices are currently accessible for this. A huge library with more than 5 million assets, going towards 6 million, and the code-free environment that makes it really simple to use. Now, with that in hand, we actually expanded to many more users and followed with the next issue, which was how can we not only improve the virtual environment, but expand your physical reality. That's what we call digital twins. So you go to scan an environment that you see there, and at the same time, yes, I'm recording, so yeah, good. Okay, so the Merged-XR enable you to scan a physical environment, align the physical and the virtual, and then enhance your reality. So have knowledge that bursts in the physical environment. Exciting product that was successful, and the pandemic made the third product very, very popular, which is the ability to teleport yourself and connect anytime, anywhere with avatars, enhance your performance. You have voice control commands, you have a physical environment that you move on that can be combined with a virtual environment. So, for example, a lab for COVID. And that brings us to how we can make it even easier. And the true revolution there was Metaverse Builder. And our concept was to, what about if we just pick a device and walk and talk? So you can say, for example, the word engine, and that pops up. Automatically, it creates what we refer to as knowledge portals, where the users can automatically generate videos, images, text, speech, PDFs to that context. Assessment portals, where you are able, using artificial intelligence, to generate quizzes, ability to identify location, or any other more, let's say, assessment, 3D assessment related activities. All this is in a context of multi-language, and also an ability to build things one after the other. So it's not limited to one environment, but you can build entire walls with literally dozens of items or even more. So Metaverse Builder was a true revolution, but it's not enough. You also have to bring these environments to life. What I mean by that, let's have a look on the new exciting product called EON Interact, which allows you to use what we call touch and go to do something. So what we see here is multiple interaction. You can also do a string of interactions. And the nice thing about this, there's zero code involved. You just point to the item, select your interaction from that carousel that you saw previously, and then the interaction is applied. So this is a dream come true for people that want to create complex interaction but don't want to program or code. Okay, so we know that learning is best in a social context. We don't want to be alone, and more so, we want students to collaborate with other people in other academic institutions beyond your current university, and also share and build their digital world, and also even earn money by selling, trading their environments and their learning experiences. So let's have a look. This is what we call EON Knowledge World.
So we're now in Infinite Land City Hub.
Look up at the sky glider there. This one.
So what do we have, Brock? What are you pointing at?
The levels reactor.
Okay, I see some video here. Let's walk over there and take a look. Fusion. Nuclear fusion accelerator.
Pretty much everything in the universe is made out of matter. The Earth, air, you and me, stars, interstellar dust, all matter.
We can look at our wormhole generator. You can watch a video on it.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, so basically what's happening here is that you can get access to a white label knowledge world that you can design your own university, or you can just join the public knowledge world and learn and earn. There's a number of features here that we've implemented for this more public environment. So for example, you can protect your creation with NFT features. You can buy and sell land and objects. The avatar are fully customizable. And you can build things on the fly, as you can see there, with multiple users. We have up to 8 users. It's pretty easy to use. And you can also physically walk. So what's happening here, as you see in the video, is that the person walks around, in this case in California, but it's a mixed reality between the physical world and what you saw there behind, which is the virtual world. Okay, so to power these new products, we have also a number of extended features. One of them we called Metaverse Builder AI Automated. So in essence, rather than, even in the previous example, which was super simple, we still had to do 60 clicks to get to a full experience, right? Which in turn is amazingly fast compared with what we used to do just 2 years ago. That experience maybe have taken a couple of hours to create. We went from that to maybe 10, 15 minutes. And now with this new feature we call Metaverse Builder, using AI automation, the AI avatar does most of the work, okay? That may be a little bit difficult to understand, so let me walk you through it. Let's go.
Hi, Jan. What would you like to learn about?
Hi, Morgan. Can you help me explain how a jet engine works?
I will create the entire experience automatically with 3 knowledge portals, assessment portals, and my own description. A jet engine is a type of reaction engine discharging a fast-moving jet that generated thrust by jet propulsion.
So what happens there really is that the whole experience, I only said engine, and the knowledge portals were generated automatically. The assistance from the avatar explaining to me what I'm looking, contextually was generated automatically. The assessment portals were generated without intervention. So it's all done in a very streamlined way, to the extent that many people think this is, that the lesson already existed. But no, this experience was created on the fly. So I find that very exciting as a way to quickly expand the number of experience and allow people to explore new things. Yeah. So that brings me to the next thing we call EON Illuminate, and this is all about persistent tracking. Let's have a look. Okay, so what's I find very exciting about this feature is that you can be 3, 4 people in the same room, and let's say in this case I want to dissect a frog. I have persistently tracked that frog to my table, and then lots of people around me can do the same thing. They just pick up their phones, and they will be able to be in a collaborative environment. Now, we were able to do that before, being in different locations, but now you can actually be in the same location, have physical people there and virtual at the same time. But you can do so much more. You can do giant egg hunts where you place things in different locations. You can make sure that the homework for the students that you prepare is on their desk, physically located there, or persistently tracked, that you can see the augmented reality experience. You can do maintenance repair operations where you remotely can place a repair instruction to someone that has to conduct that operation. You can also put this virtual persistent track virtual yellow stickers that identifies things that you find are wrong that someone has to be addressed. So you link the physical and the virtual in a very good way. Very useful feature. Now, talking about useful feature, its key aspect of EON's approach is to make what we call EON Universal. So what I mean by that every piece of content that you create in EON can work on every device. We already had that capability in the past, but as devices are added, we are constantly improving and adding those features and those devices to EON Universal. So for example, Meta Quest 1 and 2, Quest Pro, HTC Vive Pro, HoloLens 1 and 2, Magic Leap, and of course Macs, PCs, tablets, iOS devices, Android devices, they all work in harmony. Let's have a look. So the application in this case was originally created on a mobile device, but the user is just picking up, in this case, a Quest. I think it's a Quest 2, and they immediately can start interacting. Now, also automatically, the modality to interact changes. So on a mobile phone, you use that little chopstick that you can move things around. Now, in this case, you have both hands. So it adds a lot of value by switching from one device to a more immersive device. Okay, now the look and feel of the interface has been evolving, but we took a drastic improvement step this year. So we have a total new UX and look and feel. And we introduced some exciting social media functions. We have a scorecard, we have a brand new category system, and improved search. Let's have a look. So the first aspect of being personalized is that when you enter the app, you have to choose your interest. And based on your interest, the system then adapts the user interface so you just see what's relevant for you. Now, you also have a scorecard with views, likes. We also follow the top picks for you based on your interest, editors' choices, people you follow, what's trending right now, and top creators that are out there. Overall, the whole experience is much faster. You can see also the image ratio has been improved, looks more like a movie versus the square we had in the past. You have very many sources for getting your assets, and the categories have been simplified in their structures. So, for example, now you have a clear overview over the objects. You can see also and experience what it contains. You have all the statistics. You can also see comments, what people have done with it. We also have a hierarchical level with the structure. And your personal profile, your language, your interest, your avatars, the transactions you made, how you're doing with respect to creation versus, for example, consumption. Lots of fun stuff that you can have there. And personally, I'm curious every morning when I go there because it does look different and it is dynamic. Okay, so last but not least, the EON Marketplace features. Let's have a look. So you can go to your marketplace here, and you can select any objects, select the product that you want to buy, and you submit previously, of course, your credit card. You review the price, and it's very simple to check out. You can also build your own assets or experiences, and once you create them, you can review them, and you have the ability to manage and place it so it is sold. And you get, of course, payment directly to your wallet that then converts to using Stripe as a payment system to get it to your account. So it's a very smooth process that many people have asked about. And we see already that this new marketplace creates a lot of new excitement and drives content generation. Now, I did promise that I will also look a little bit on the future and tell you what's coming. And a lot of these things are coming very fast. If I was to summarize the main thrust for the remaining part of 2022 and definitely 2023, it's all about artificial intelligence. And it is about introducing assistants that can help you to guide you, help you create, help you train, and ultimately help you enhance your performance in many aspects of your life. So let's start with the first one, which we call AI Assistant, and this is all about conversation learning. Let's have a look.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? DNA.
Tell me more about DNA.
One of the most interesting things about DNA is that it contains the instructions for making proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of cells and are responsible for all the biochemical reactions that take place in our bodies.
Which are the building blocks of DNA?
Chromosomes, which are made up of genes. Genes are the units of heredity and are the source of all our inherited traits.
When was the DNA discovered?
The discovery of DNA is credited to Francis Crick and James Watson. They were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in 1962 for their work on the structure of the genetic molecule.
I understand that the DNA looks like a helix.
Yes, the double helix is a pretty iconic image of molecular biology. Let's zoom in on the top of the double helix. You can see that there are two strands of nucleotides, the building blocks of DNA, coiled around each other. The nucleotides are arranged in a ladder-like fashion, with the sugar molecules at the bottom and the phosphate molecules at the top.
So what I like about this is not only do I have a conversation about a topic that I want to learn about, but I actually have context, meaning that the avatar in this case shows me things regarding that DNA, as you can see there with the DNA structure helix. And obviously this can be applied for many items. I just played also current activities, like for example, the robots, the Tesla robot or other activities. Let's have a quick look.
For 20. The type of AI that can solve complex problems and make decisions on its own.
When will we be able to achieve artificial general intelligence?
It's still early days for artificial general intelligence, but there's a lot of research being done in this area. We're not there yet, but it's definitely something that we're working on.
Okay, so you can see that it even answers questions that are quite tricky in my mind, but obviously it's only your fantasy that can stop you to what you can use this for. I quickly developed some application for astronomy, biology, philosophy, and many other topics. In this case, let's have a quick look at the astronomy application.
Tell me, which is the largest planet in our solar system?
Neptune is the largest planet in our solar system. It has a diameter of about 112,000 miles, 180,000 kilometers.
So I'm fascinated about looking at the planets and at the same time interacting with the avatar and getting knowledge instantly when I need it, as I need it. But now we interact with things that are virtual. How about interacting and getting knowledge about my physical environment? Now there's been a tremendous progress, as you can see here, in the ability to do image recognition. So last year we introduced AI image, where you take a picture of something, it recognizes the picture, and then it gives you knowledge portal assessment portals superimposed in your reality based on that. Now we're taking one step further. We're going from simple images to recognizing multiple images, multiple objects, in an environment. And that opens the Pandora box to many more applications. One of them that I'm very intrigued about, we call the AI personal assistant. And let's have a look. So the first thing I'm doing here, I'm selecting my AI guide. I'm selecting the environment. I'm triggering now the EON AI guide. And in order to recognize what's in the room, I'm actually scanning the room. So there's a 3D scan generated. And at the same time, we are generating different object recognized or recognition. So you see that the cactus, for example, is recognized. The Apple device is recognized. vitamin that I pointed to. Even my coffee maker has been recognized. You see those green rectangles. Now,
A cactus, plural cacti, cactuses, or less common.
once that's done, the knowledge portal, the videos, the text, the audio that you heard there are also created and superimposed. So my physical environment starts to burst with knowledge. Now, the most exciting thing in my mind happens now. There is a cactus on the table. The system has recognized it. It has created knowledge portals around it. And guess what? My avatar assistant knows about it. And now I can start a conversation that is contextual based on what the avatar sees in the room. Let's have a look.
Okay, a cactus is a member of the plant family Cactusaceae. Many live in extremely dry environments, even being found in the Atacama Desert. The Atacama Desert is a plateau strip of land on the Pacific coast.
Hi, I'm Kathy with Level Up RN.
Good morning. It's time for vitamins. It's Thursday.
So we saw that example of recognizing things in the physical world and then giving you instant knowledge when you need it. But how about your daily life, where we see the AI personal assistant also connecting with things about you? In this case, I wear an Aura ring, and that provides things like heart rate variability, how many hours I slept, etc. And that information, together with the AI personal assistant, and as this increasingly becomes knowledgeable about health and special areas, can provide me the assistance I need in my daily life. In this case, advising me which vitamins to take. Let's have a listen.
Today, September 22nd. Based on my reading of your Aura ring, your readiness is good, 76. Your sleep is good, although you slept only 5 hours and 39 minutes.
So it told me about how long I slept, my readiness, which seems to be pretty decent, despite the lack of sleep.
Today, when you take your vitamins, please take an extra tablet of Complete B Complex and Nacokin Acid Pro. Let me show you. This one and this one.
Yeah, but that's when it becomes interesting, because now it actually gives me practical guidance based on the data it received, about my sleep, the knowledge it has about which vitamins my doctor recommended and which are especially good for example, in this case, when you have a little bit lower energy due to lack of sleep. So this can sound pretty advanced, but you can use it for many things. Let me use a very banal example. Making coffee. The assistant to help me to make coffee. I have this European coffee maker, which is not always easy to figure out. Let's listen in.
In 2011, Espresso, the premium single-serve coffee brand of the multinational Swiss company Nestlé.
This video will guide you through the first use of your new Virtuo Plus machine.
I'm not too fond of these European coffee makers. Can you please tell me how I can get a nice cafe au lait?
Good morning. No problem. The coffee is easy. You push this button here. You open and place the coffee in the slot. And voila, cafe au lait.
So you can see some practical applications, but I also am very excited about things like cultural heritage, archaeology, and tourism in general. That's something that I think it's not only interesting, but we see that the AR guide can be of great help. So I took it for a test. I happened to be in Prague and wanted to visit the city. It helped me select. Let's have a look what happened. So the first thing that happened is I was at the breakfast room and I had to determine where to
Czech
go.
Republic, built in the 9th century.
Let's go and enter the Prague Castle.
So I asked the system which are the top 3 locations, and it suggested the castle, as you can see there. It suggested Karl's Bridge, and it suggested the old Times Square. And just to be sure, before I went there, I placed those things using EON's vast library on my breakfast table. And I started looking at things and getting some information, enough for me to determine that this is actually a very exciting place that I do want to visit. And once I did that, I brought my phone, that's all I had, with me and start exploring the physical walls. And the AI guide took me through the entire experience. So you can see there, I'm checking out first the Old Times Square, looking where I want to go, and it is now time to actually go there.
Church is a historic square in the old town.
So there I am. I have my phone. I am in the Old Times Square. I've been guided there. And all I need now is the phone for the avatar to take me through this experience.
Can you please take me on a guided tour to the old square in Prague?
Absolutely. I'm happy to take you on a guided tour of the old square in Prague.
Tell me more about the old square in Prague.
The old square in Prague is a very beautiful area of the city. It's located in the center of the old town, and it's surrounded by some of the oldest buildings in the city. It's a great place to walk around and see all the different shops and restaurants.
Tell me more about the astronomical clock.
The astronomical clock in the old square in Prague is a very famous and historic landmark. It was built in 1410 and it's still working perfectly today. It's a very popular tourist destination, and it's also used to time various events in the Czech Republic.
What are the most famous landmark buildings in the old square in Prague?
The most famous landmark buildings in the old square in Prague include the Charles Bridge and the astronomical clock.
Can you guide me to Charles Bridge?
We'll go together.
Charles Bridge is a medieval stone arch bridge that crosses the Vul to the river in Prague, Czech Republic.
Would you like to walk with me now?
Absolutely. Let's walk over to the bridge and I can tell you all about it. Charles Bridge is a beautiful bridge that spans the Vltava River in the historic center of Prague. It's a popular tourist destination. The length of the bridge is about 1.2 kilometers.
Are there any interesting history about Charles Bridge?
Yes, there is a lot of interesting history about Charles Bridge in Prague. For example, it is believed that the bridge was built by the Emperor Charlemagne in 814 AD.
Tell me more about Prague's castle.
The castle is a very important part of the city, and it's worth visiting for anyone who is interested in history.
When was the castle built?
The original castle was built in the late 10th century, and it has been rebuilt and modified many times over the years.
I heard it's the largest castle in the world.
Anyway, so you can see here how useful it is to be guided and have that natural conversation. And by the way, I had to walk about 12 kilometers, so it's also tireless. So you have to watch out so you don't get more than you wish for. But definitely for curious minds, this is a very useful application. So we talked about assistance, and we talked about guidance. What about creating? So AI, as many of you know, has the ability nowadays to take text to image and create videos and 3D environments on the fly. And there's a number of technologies that we integrated, DALL-E 2, Stable Diffusion, just to mention a few. But the idea with this is not just to create those images, but place those images in your world. Create your relaxing sanctuary. So first video here is going to show us a little bit about how the creation process is. And then the second one, how we can use those to enrich our physical spaces. Let's have a look. EON AI and integration with DALL-E create images from just words. An image of a UFO that pops up in Prague at sunset. And let's look at it full screen. So we are using the knowledge portals here to see the previews. And obviously we can do more things. We can also create videos around the UFO in Prague, or even sightings. How about marble sculpture made by Michelangelo of an astronaut riding on a horse? Can you create that? How about the Dali style painting of a Tesla robot surfing in Malibu? Can you do that? And you can see here in just a few minutes, I created different things. This is a bull holding a mobile phone as an angel. I did many different, more or less creative. This is an interpretation of the American Gothic that you can see there. And this is also Frida and Van Gogh having dinner together with a monkey theme. So I had this mosaic of things. I obviously like Van Gogh, and I used those that theme of paintings, but I created something in his styles. So this happened in literally in a few minutes. I had a whole art collection that then grew and grew, and I think I got a little bit over the top here, having almost 1,000 different images of stuff. Now, the question is, okay, so I have this collection. How do I enjoy it? How do I use it? So this next video depicts that. So it's going to look not only at images, but now we can do text to video and text to animation. And believe it or not, the first trials on text to 3D are also available. So I can create those environments, and then using persistent tracking, EON Illuminate, I can then place them at scale in my environment using different shapes. I can do it in a cube shape environment, a room size environment, large rectangles, spheres, or domes. Let's have a look. Today we got to talk about something very, very exciting, which is how do you convert text to images? We'll see that with EON Create. How you convert text to animation. And finally, how you can create text to three-dimensional. Let's try it out. Now the beautiful part about this is you can combine this with persistent tracking, and by doing so you are able to put paintings, animations, wall size in your room. You're also able to create the metaverse ultimately just by talking. So I like that ending there, especially if you can connect AI music. So EON is looking also how you can create your themes with music and sounds, and then correlate this with the shapes and environments that you're creating in type of art, and build your own sanctuary that's persistently tracked and always there. So you wake up in the morning, you had a great dream, you want to visualize that dream and just talk about it, and it appears in your room and with the appropriate music. So, quite exciting. Now, going from there even further, where are we going if we look at 6 months, a little bit further? As the language models and the other visual modules and even action models are improving, we are looking at getting specialized AI training to do things that you may not even think about. Let me explain what I mean by that. So let's say you have an engine and you encounter a problem with that engine that you had never have before. It will be able to, based on training specialized on this type of engine, provide you that type of information on the fly. In this case, a step-by-step procedure. So that is quite interesting, because that means that you have a power of this new AI that knows almost everything and can explain to you how to do it, actually show you how to do it, with your dexterity as a human that far exceeds any Tesla robot at the moment. So you have 1 + 1 is not 2, but 1 + 1 is 10. So that is for training, but who says we need to stop at training? Why don't we go to performance, where you actually have to do tasks, not only train about them? And that's what we call performance enhancement. So what I find exciting about this is that, for example, in the Tesla robot case, to control that robot, you need to actually reconstruct a visual, scan the room, and basically on the fly create a reconstruction in 3 dimensions like a video game, and that information is then provided to the robot to conduct that task. But it will take probably 5 to 7 years until we have such a robot, and you can buy it, and it will be fairly expensive. We hear prices like $20,000. However, with EON Human 2.0, you can do things very inexpensively, where you have 1, 2, or several avatars that will be able to guide you to do that physical task, which part to pick and when, and that will help your knowledge beyond your current human constraints. So you go much further than you would do otherwise. And you don't have to look it up in any manuals, you can do it on the fly. So what we're seeing here is a constant progression that will accelerate during next year for EON AI Avatar. Starting, I mean, what you see too as state of the art just a year ago was text chats with using the new GPT-3 models, etc. And that the applications there that can do voice chat. So what's unique with EON already is that you can have an assistant that is there for you, that has lips syncing, that blinks, and you can do a conversational learning. But very quickly from the AI assistant conversation, you go into the uniqueness of contextual learning, either contextual learning regarding a virtual object, show me how this engine works, or which are the key components, and the avatar will not only tell you that, but there's a compressor, turbine, but actually will show you. Now, the next progression step is when you have advanced contextual learning, not only of a virtual object, in this case the engine, but the entire physical world. What do I mean by that physical world? I mean a factory environment, a real factory, where you have the AI guide after you swipe the factory and it captures the object to show you things around it and explain things in the physical room. That doesn't have to be a physical room. That could be, as you could see there in my example, Prague, or it can be a forest where it tells me about fauna. I find it extremely exciting that I can get this contextual information. Now, not only that, but we can also change the language. So, for example, if I'm looking at a flower, it says a flower, and then it can easily switch to French, fleur, Swedish, bluma, Spanish, Portuguese, flores, etc. So I can even learn languages with this EON AI advanced contextual learning. But I can learn it in a linked contextual way. And then I already talked about the EON AI Trainer, which enables me now to train on specific topics, on complex data. And then I can also train on the next level, which is the performance enhancement. And ultimately, that's where this will help us tremendously. So the future is extremely exciting. To summarize now, we have 6 products, the code-free and open environment presented by EON-XR, the ability to expand your reality into the physical world with merged XR, teleporting and connecting with other people with spatial meetings, building walls by just walking and talking with Metaverse Builder, creating exciting interaction without code by using EON Interact, learning and earning a global community with Knowledge Worlds, and of course, the new features, the AI auto generation that does the work for you, the Illuminate that provides you the persistent tracking, and of course, Universal that enables you to do it on any device. All that wrapped in a UX that's dynamic, that's personalized, that's every day for you, and that also enables you to trade what you create and monetize your creation. And ultimately, having an assistant that makes it for you painless and frictionless to learn and train and perform through conversation, to contextual learning, through procedural training, and ultimately performance enhancement. And not at least the creative aspect we talked about, where you can on the fly create images, videos in 3D, and have your, I would say, virtual sanctuary where you can relax and enjoy. So on that note, I thank you so much for your attention.